The really good news is that the Kitengela 3, who have been held by the government at a secret unknown location, have finally been released, alive and well. That is very good news, especially for their families. You can imagine the anxiety they've gone through over this 1 month and almost another day, because the 3 were taken on August 19th, 2024, okay, and were released in the early hours of today, September 20th, 2024. But on my show today, I would like to focus very sharply on the very interesting chain of events that unfolded shortly before and shortly after the release of the Kitengela 3. Yeah, these were Jamil Longton, Aslam Longton were brothers, and activist Bob Njagi, all residents of Kitengela in Kajiado County, right next to Nairobi County. Now, how will this chain of events help us? Actually, they'll help us a lot. They will tell us a lot that we may not know. Yeah, let's just go through with it, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And let us start with the most obvious development. The brand new Inspector General of Police, Bwana Douglas Kanja, was sworn in at State House Nairobi, and then a few hours later, the Kitengela 3 were released. Okay? And at the same time, the acting Inspector General of Police, the one who has been acting, Bwana Gilbert Masengeli, who is now very famous in Kenya for dodging and dribbling past court orders. Yeah. Bwana Masengeli, after ignoring so many court orders, finally, through his lawyer, said he was ready to appear in court and also to explain something about the Kitengela 3. In other words, shortly after Bwana Masengeli had changed tune and accepted to appear in court to talk about the Kitengela 3, shortly after that, the Kitengela 3 were released. Okay? Now, very important to note, right from the beginning of these manenos, the police have always stubbornly told us that they are not holding these 3 Kenyans. Okay? And indeed, the brand new Inspector General of Police, Bwana Douglas Kanja, in a presser, told the press the police are not holding these 3 individuals, but they have an ongoing investigation. Okay? That's important to note, as we will discover shortly. And now let us proceed with the small scraps of clues and evidence that has been thrown our way here and there. Yeah, most times unintentionally. Okay? The government, or rather somebody deep inside the government, because the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has got a very high security clearance. I'm sure most of us know what that means. It means that government secrets that can obviously not be seen by every government worker, there are levels of clearance as to the information you can access depending on your rank. That is how it goes in every country in the world. Yeah? The Deputy President has a very high clearance to these government secrets. And that Deputy President released a statement, whether it was intentional or non-intentional. I've done a video on that on this channel. And he referred to these abductions not as state abductions, but as state-sponsored abductions. What that means, based on our understanding and knowledge of the Lusungu language, what it means is that this is an operation which is being carried out by people who are necessarily not not government employees. And even if they're government employees, they're operating outside the government protocols and government way of doing things. That also means legal way of doing things. And this would explain very neatly why the police have always insisted they are not holding these people who disappear. To sum it all up, with all that information, we can logically conclude that this unit that abducts Kenyans and makes them disappear may not have a hierarchy, of different levels of ranks, but it has one person who gives the orders. And this one person must be very close to the center of power. So much so that he not only overrides the law, but also overrides police officers and the police organization. I believe that is rather obvious. It is very easy to build a profile about somebody's character and to be very accurate when you have never met them in your life. You just build a profile of them based on what they have done, their handiwork. Now, some of us may know that some years back, the FBI in America, in a breakthrough in fighting crime, developed a unit that did some great work in hunting down serial murderers, serial killers, based on building a profile. Taking the evidence from the scenes of crime and the crimes committed, finding the link between this crime and that crime and that crime, and then building a profile right up to their age of the person they're looking for. And guess what? In a vast majority of the cases, they were pinpoint correct. And so, today, let us attempt to do the same here. And actually, we have plenty to go on. Okay? Now, so far we know that this particular unit, very illegal, chini ya maji, takes their orders from one individual. Let us focus on that one individual. Okay? It should be pretty obvious that that individual does not have much schooling. Hakwenda shule. Okay, and that's not an insult. It is just based on their behavior. You see, one of the reasons people go to school is to be able to develop some certain skills. And one of those skills is being able to look at something and think it through. Think ahead. For example, utapiga mtu ngumi kwa uso. Okay? But you have not thought about the possible consequences. Okay? But when you think through the consequences, but when you think through everything, for instance, is the one who punched me first. But if I do what I'm going to do and I damage his face, he might go and get something called a P3. I will be picked up by the cops. I will spend a period of time in police cells. I will be charged with assault. And there'll be evidence because of his face. And I know that if I'm found guilty, there is no way I can avoid jail time. You have thought the whole process through before you make your decision to throw that punch. And with all due respect to those of us who love this channel, who may not have gone to school much, like yours truly, with all due respect to all of us, this is an ability that is supposed to develop over time the longer you stay in school. But some people also get it without going to school much. But the majority of the people who don't have it did not go to school much. Okay? I'm sure you're getting me. And so this unschooled individual is making decisions without thinking them through. Okay? Let me give a very good example. the police are being harassed to present some people in court. And this individual has those people. He knows where those people are. And he is so powerful in Kenya today that he can liaise with the police, although he's not a member of the police force. Okay? And therefore, this individual makes the decision of ignoring the court orders. Okay? Wachana na hiyo. Kwani watadu? Without thinking through the possible consequences. Now the problem with these abductions is they are not within official circles. Hii ni kitu ya jua kali ambayo iko nje kabisa ya serikali. It is just people flexing their power muscles to show how powerful they are. And so back to what we were discussing. This individual did not think through the whole process of what would happen when a senior police officer continues to ignore court orders. Okay? And they are so powerful that they just simply told the said police officer, ignore those court orders. After all, you know nothing. Don't go. Period. And you know who I am. I'll protect you. Something like that. Although this would have been very easy to avoid, all this person in charge of abductions would have done would have been to instruct the said police officer, you go to court and tell them this story. 1, 2, 3. Period. They'd have found a story to give to the court. And the situation would not have gotten to where it has gotten today. Okay? Folks, it is important to go to school. It is. And not so that you just get a job. No. It helps a lot with your reasoning capacity. And you can't run away from that one. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. That is the truth. And therefore in this particular case, it is very easy to see what must have happened. Okay? The situation of these abductions and this senior police officer getting so many court orders they ignored has dominated headlines for days. It has dominated the news for days. And of course that has consequences. And so what has happened is that other powerful people have come into play. Okay? And those are the people who choreographed this chain of events. As soon as we swear in the new police IG, let us pretend that that was the mistake of the old police IG, the acting police IG. Let's throw him under the bus. Put all the blame on him. Why? Because it is critical that people don't even discover that this particular chini ya maji unit exists. It is very critical that it remains secret. People don't know anything about it, so that the abductions continue, so that these people continue operating. The last thing they want is to be exposed. And this would explain very neatly why those who have been held by this unit and then released are always blindfolded. All the time. And when they are released, they are told, don't talk to the press. Now don't you find that very odd? Because, have you heard of any case where somebody is arrested by the police, spends a few days in police cells, and then when they are released, they are told by the police, don't talk to the press about the cells. And you know the truth is, the condition in our cells, police cells, that is a big story in itself. But the police never tell these people, don't say anything to anybody. Don't talk to the press. If you do, tutakuja tena. I believe now it makes perfect sense why they behave like that. Folks, it would seem that in this case, it may have been decided that Bwana Gilbert Masengeli will be the scapegoat. While all the focus is on him, and the way he ignored all those court orders, people will forget to talk about what is really important, and that is this illegal unit which is abducting Kenyans. And some of these Kenyans who are being abducted are being found later not alive. Okay? That is really the crucial, important thing. I'm not saying Masengeli ignoring court orders is a small thing. But what I'm saying is that there are also other even more important things, like the lives lost of innocent Kenyans who have never been charged in a court of law. Indeed, they have never been entered into the criminal justice system. They have not been arrested. Their names have not been entered in any OB book. They have never been given the opportunity to defend themselves. They have never been given the opportunity to get a lawyer to defend them, etc., etc. All basic human rights enshrined in our Constitution. That is really the big issue here for me. You see, it should be more than clear that the way Kenya Kwanza regime operates is that the really key important things, the really damaging things, are happening chini ya maji, in secret, in complete secret. But meanwhile in public, we're being told some nice things. Tumepanga, tumetenga, give the government time, give Ruto time, things will get better. While in actual fact, you have no idea what you're being told to give time so that it happens. You have no idea what these guys want to happen. Yeah? I can assure you it has more to do with fattening their bank accounts than improving the lives of Kenyans. I think we have more than enough evidence on that. And I believe the perfect example is this Adani Manenos. What is really happening in the background? I know there have been a lot of exposés recently. People have come out with a lot of information. But you still have no clue. Most Kenyans still have no clue what is really going on here. Now, all this information is rather sensitive, but it is all in my latest special report. Okay? You can see details on your screens right now. For only Kenya shillings 2,999, you can have it pop in your inbox, and your eyes will be opened. I can guarantee you, I can assure you, you will be shocked. The same details are repeated in the description area below this video on YouTube and also in the comments area. This is the last call. Take full advantage of it. Yeah. Squeeze yourself in and ensure you're one of the last few people to get hold of this valuable, highly sensitive intel. Until next time, this is Chris KUMEKACHA.